Unholy War. That's right, folks. Today we're gonna talk about technical death metal, the early one that spawned in late 80s, very early 90s. Uh, Here's my favorite band of that era, Atheist. Very cool, very technical band. Their idea was to combine the ferocity of Slayer with some of the technical aspects of Rush, and they kind of managed to make it in a very, very own style of theirs. Um, Here's their first album, Piece of Time, from 1989 here in Europe. In the US, I think this was released in 1990, but still well early in the death metal game. Very cool album indeed. Unholy War, I already mentioned. Piece of Time, No Truth. Very cool album, so definitely check it out if you can. My version has also this bonus DVD where you get a bunch of demos and live stuff happening, and even some practices and some radio shows, whatever. Here's the one people usually remember well, Unquestionable Presence from 1991. Um, it's a very nice album as well. I kind of prefer the first one though. It's a bit more aggressive. This one is a bit more mellow, but the melodies and the song structure is really a forte in this one. So I can certainly understand why some people would prefer this one. Also, the DVD version has some nice extras. So if you want to check it out, please do. Here's their third album from 1993, Elements. At this point, the band has already suffered losing their bass player. Actually, Roger Patterson, he died just before they could record their second album. So they had to find another player. I think it was Tony Choi to play the bass here. Kind of a bit similar like what happened to Metallica with Cliff Burton. The guy was really greatly loved and appreciated by the fans, and they had this freak traffic accident where he died. So unfortunately, he wasn't there right at the moment when they were kind of releasing their most influential album. I would argue that Master of Puppets was the most important album and the most influential album that Metallica made, and likewise Unquestionable Presence is probably the most influential album of Atheist. So it's a real shame, tragedy to happen at that point of the band. But here's Elements from 1993. This is a kind of a weird one where they didn't. It's almost feels like some sort of jazz improvisation. They do all this like there's hints of samba music here in the track Samba Brisa, and all these kind of interesting kind of experimental things they're doing here. But I guess they were kind of pretty much like trying to just fulfill their agreement with the record company, though, so they quite quickly recorded this one. And it's not as bad as you might expect, but it's very different from the other albums. So if you really like hearing some kind of weird stuff, you might check this one out. Actually, my favorite Atheist album, though, is their fourth one, Jupiter, from 2010. I like it because it's probably the heaviest, the most aggressive, the fastest one of these. Um, it's surprisingly good. I, for the longest time, thought Piece of Time was going to be my favorite, but when I heard this one, I was really shocked, to be honest. Especially the A side is so intense. It goes like in a snap of fingers. The whole the four first tracks here, it's really amazing. It's so intense. It's so fast. Um, you get some great melody hooks in songs like "Live" and "Live Again," and then on the B side you get this more kind of not mellow songs as such, but they're kind of like trying this weird rhythm patterns and stuff like that. So it's really, really a wild ride, and definitely I would recommend. Pretty much all of the Atheist albums are really good, to be honest. But this would be my favorite. If you really like old school and want to go real heavy and intense, I would go with the first one. But if you want to go with the majority of people and hear what really made them what they are, then check out Unquestionable Presence. Great stuff. So see you next time.